So, um, I have been tempted many times in my life. I can remember some really big temptations that occurred throughout my life. Um, I was very young. I didn't have the wisdom and knowledge that a lot of people before me had that would say no to these temptations. But I had some help. I had help, and when I was in Riverview, one of the temptations that I was faced with was while the bow was being constructed back in Calgary and they were putting the finishing touches on it, was and this was a temptation that was telepathically presented to me. What is that? They would give me the bow in Calgary, and I'd be in charge. I'd have power. I would have money. I'd be rich. I'd have everything I want, and my life here would be prolonged indefinitely. Indefinitely. So, like I don't know how you would do that, but maybe through some means of chemistry, or maybe I don't know. But basically, whatever I wanted here, and it was tempting to say yes to that, to be immortal here and have the bow and have the illusion of power, but I would just be hiding behind a god, and that's not true power. That is just relaying, like relying on someone. Basically, they're listening to someone and telling them to do what I say, and that's not real power. That's not real power at all, and that's just an illusion of power. And my spiritual evolution and development as a person would be halted. My path as a being on Earth would be extremely handicapped and halted, and this would be, and I would have no further development as a person if I would have said yes to that and accepted immortality. But I had help. I had help from another voice in my head that said that told me that well, my religion at the time, I didn't have a lot of time to reflect. I didn't have a lot of time to think to myself. My religion wasn't very I didn't have a very strong grasp on religion or awareness of what was going on around me. So I thought I just sat on the couch and watched TV, and basically I ignored the people that wanted me to speak to them, and discussed further how I could prolong my life here indefinitely, or basically be immortal. So I just sat on the couch and watched TV, and I just thought, well, when I die, someone will they'll time travel and let me into the future, and I'll get whatever I want. So, but I was still young. I was about 27, 28 years old. But I know that's not necessarily what happens to you when you die. But I'm sure if I would have said yes to what they were tempting me with, that I would eventually commit suicide, and I would have killed myself from just realizing that this place is not a perfect place, and it is a place of great evil, of suffering and atonement. So why prolong that any further? So I didn't say yes. Also, there was a voice, a spirit or a voice. I don't know what the source of this voice was, but telling me that the faith of the Illuminati was to live and die a natural death on Earth. Now, I'm not a Mason or initiated into this group or anything like that, or as far as I know. But I've had some thoughts relayed to me about this group and some insights into this organization. But they seem to record history, and they wanted to see what would happen to me. But I wasn't without help. And they showed me better place, better circumstance. And so I just ignored these people that were trying to offer me these things. And had I said yes, I don't regret my decision, but had I said yes, I might have been immortal here without living here indefinitely and not age and die. And that would have been a horrible existence, watching just not developing any further as a person. So I'm glad that I said no. I just wanted to get that off my chest. Well, I didn't say no. I just ignored them. I just ignored them and listened to the people, watched TV, and just sat on the couch and didn't sign paperwork and just went on about my business. And you're supposed to say, "Oh, this guy's lying," or "This didn't happen." This really did happen in Riverview. I'm not lying. I just had to talk to them, and they're saying things like, "I'm gonna make him look like Leonardo DiCaprio and give him give him surgery and give him immortality, but I did something about it didn't feel right, and I didn't want to do that. So I just sat on the couch and watched TV. So that was one of the temptations that I was tempted with. One that I think I should have said no to, but I didn't really. Well, I succumbed to the temptation was when my doctors told me to stop fasting, or he would crucify me. Well, it wasn't crucify, but it would be inject me with a painful injection that they injected me with after that incident at Riverview where I ignored those people. Then they injected me with something that caused extreme amount of pain in my body. And then one of the doctors said, if you don't stop this fast, which I have been fasting for 94 days, they said, if you don't stop fasting, I'm going to inject you with this Zuclopendixol. And they said, so break your fast. So I broke my fast. I ate the banana. They let me out of the hospital. They didn't chemically torture me. He was true to his word. But, I don't feel that I necessarily failed in that regard because I don't have anything to prove. And there's food around me. And it wasn't really Lent. And maybe my dog, it was turning into a freak show. Like 94 days, there's people starting to notice that I wasn't eating for a long period of time. And just drinking energy drinks and Coca-Cola. I'm not eating for 94 days, and had it gone any longer, the spectacle it wouldn't have turned out good for me. So I'm glad that I didn't do that. So that was quite tempting too. I've been tempted to commit suicide, but that I think I'm meant to stay here to learn and atone for things and just keep progressing. I'm generally happy here, and I have everything I need, everything I want, and I'm still learning things, and I don't regret that. So Jesus' temptations, his first temptation was, prove you're God, take these stones and turn them to bread. So Jesus said no to that. Lots of people interpret this different ways. Maybe they say the stones was represents his knowledge to build ovens and create bread or to create fire or maybe it's a literal meaning that he could actually turn stone into bread. But we don't know that. But we can speculate. And Jesus said no to that. To that temptation. There was another temptation that was presented to him was just jump off this cliff, commit suicide, and basically maybe we'll play in this realm forever together, or just abandon your holy mission, avoid crucifixion, avoid everything that's preordained here for your life. Just jump off the cliff and commit suicide, and forget about all this. Forget about these people. Forget about your holy mission. And Jesus said no to that, as it was recorded in the Bible. And then the third temptation was basically was prove you're God, or worship me. So this temptation was basically, some people interpret it as asking him to perform a mass miracle in front of a group of soldiers that were guarding a synagogue. So walking out to a group of soldiers and performing a mass miracle, build an army and circumvent your crucifixion. But Jesus is a very wise person, and coming to this temptation would have probably just got him crucified even sooner, because I'm sure that the being that was tempting him could have done the same things, and that will just make them fight and argue over who God is, and if he summons a comet from the sky and shows them a mass miracle, and then this being does the same thing, then they'll just argue about who God is and who they should worship. But basically, these temptations were in the Bible, and they were a guideline for me to Jesus. I don't claim to know Jesus very personally or anything like that, but his story, his experience is something I aspire to if I was to become a god or become a powerful person, the life he lived and the experience he went through to become a god on earth and in heaven, that's kind of like the experience that he's the type of God that I would aspire to be. And you have to read between the lines. There's not a lot about Jesus in the Bible about his youth, but you have to know that he was probably a person that was, for the most part, made fun of a lot as a young man. They're saying he's the Messiah. He's born of a virgin. People probably made fun of his parents, saying, "Oh, look at her! She's the boy. She's the one that gave birth to the boy, and no one even had sex with her. She was just a virgin." Maybe they looked at him like he was a freak. So just read between the lines a little bit and know that he was an outcast. He's a person that didn't necessarily fit in, and people probably made fun of him growing up. Maybe there was a lot of days where he was just playing by himself, and thinking, they're saying that when I grow up, I'll be crucified. But the Bible says that when he was 30 and baptized, that's when he began to become aware of his past lives, or that he saw a voice in the heavens open up to him in the sky, and that led up to his crucifixion. So I've always aspired and loved Jesus since I was a young man, and then I may have lost touch with the Bible and the church. But when I grew up, I became more spiritually developed, and I just felt a strong connection to spiritual beings here on earth. So just know if you're an outcast, or you're the butt of a lot of jokes, or you don't feel like you fit in. A lot of the saints, a lot of the people like that. Jesus walked that path just for people like you. He walked that path. He bore the cross just for people like you that don't necessarily fit in the community, that are being ostracized, that are being persecuted, being made fun of, and just know that you're not alone in that regard, and that there are people that walk this path, and you can become a lot greater as a person. Just persevere and stay true to yourself, and don't give up. Don't give up, because there's people out there that really love you, and the only thing that we're missing right now is finding each other. We're too busy right now with our own personal lives to know each other. But in another place, once you attain a certain spiritual knowledge and a certain development, we'll find each other and we'll know the path that we walked. The Akashic records, they don't lie. People say, well, what do you do in heaven or in the afterlife? What movies do you watch? Well, once you attain a certain amount of power as a person, there's a lot of things to watch, to look at, movies being made. You don't have to look at actors, but you look at unscripted movies that are being played out on Earth. Those are the Akashic records. I mean, these are unscripted things that happened in the past, and you get to see it line for line, person for person, uncut and unreal. And some people, when they read about the Akashic records, they say, "Oh, I pray this isn't real because I did so many things that I'm not proud of." And that's why some people are in hell. They're in hell because they can't live with the fact that the Akashic records are real, and you can see everything that's played out. You can see the truth played out, and every emotion, every intent, everything that happened in the past played out. And yes, everyone's done things they weren't proud of, but there was reasons for that. And if you watch someone's life, it's entertaining, it's fun to watch, and that's a pastime. And as soon as you finish watching another movie, there's another movie already being made. So that, for the answer to the question of what do we do in place of movies and things like that, it's the Akashic records, and it's eternal sustenance to watch and entertain yourself. So that's basically that. So just know that if you're most people are missing an experience, and that's alone time. So there's a lot of TV, internet things to answer your questions, Google, but if you don't spend a lot of time reflecting, you're not going to answer these questions for yourself. So people need alone time to reflect, to think, slow down, think, do some critical thinking, and you will find that the answers to your questions are out there, and they're in yourself. Reflect on what's happened throughout your life. Reflect on what's happened throughout the day, throughout your experience, throughout your life. Just really reflect on what has occurred throughout your life, and you will find the answers by spending time alone. Oh, all right. So that's all for now. That's my spiel. I hope you have a happy Easter. Well, when Easter comes, and I hope you have a happy Lent is what I meant. And enjoy, and reflect. And that's all I have for today. Bye.